In this video, we'll be taking a look at two college basketball games happening on February 28, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 2 betting picks a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. UCLA versus Washington. The UCLA Bruins head north for a showdown with the Washington Huskies. UCLA is coming off a 94-55 blowout win over Oregon State during the weekend. The Bruins currently sit in third place in the Pac-12 with a 13-5 conference record. Washington enters on the heels of a 78-70 win over their in-state rivals Washington State, improving their conference mark to 9-8. These squads squared off back on February 19th, with UCLA cruising to a 76-50 victory. The Washington Huskies sit with a 14-13 record and have gone 15-2 against the spread. In its last game against Washington State, the offense scored 78 points on its way to victory. Washington is averaging 70.2 points, while their defense is giving up 72.9 points per game. The top player this season has been Terrell Brown Jr., who is averaging 21.5 points while shooting 44.4% from the field and 21.3% from behind the three-point line. Emmett Matthews Jr. has also been good, averaging over 11 points per game. On the other side of this matchup is UCLA, who come into this game with a 21-6 record overall, and they have gone 14-12-1 against the spread. In the last game against Oregon State, it was the offense that was the difference, putting up 94 points on the way to the easy victory. UCLA is averaging 76.7 points, while their defense is giving up 64.1 points per game. Johnny Juzang has been the top player for UCLA, averaging 17 points while shooting 44.3% from the field and 36.7% from behind the three-point line. The under is 6-0 in UCLA's last 6 games following an against the spread win. The over is 4-0 in Washington's last 4 games following a straight-up win. The over is 4-0 in the Huskies' last 4 home games. The under is 4-0 in the Huskies' last 4 games as a home underdog of 7 to 12.5 points. UCLA has been a defensive force to be reckoned with over their last 5 games and appears to be regaining their early season form at the right moment. UCLA caused all kinds of issues for the Huskies in their first matchup, limiting them to 34% from the field. Expect more of the same on Monday against a Washington team that averages below 41% from the field. While Juzang's potential absence may impact the offense, they didn't have him over the weekend and still won by 39 points. The Bruins have plenty of depth and will take care of business regardless. UCLA to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Huskies like to play at a relatively fast pace, ranked 57th in the nation in KenPom adjusted tempo. UCLA prefers a much slower pace at 257th. Look for UCLA to establish the early tone of this game, much like they did in the first meeting. Washington's defense managed just 50 points against the Bruins in their first matchup, and given their inconsistent shooting and UCLA's current excellent defense, it's hard to imagine them managing a much higher total this time around. If Juzang can't go, look for UCLA's offensive production to dip just a little. The under is 8-1 in Washington's last 9 home games against teams with winning records, and 8-1 in UCLA's last 9 road games against road teams. In their last 10 games, the Bruins have gone to 6-4 and have scored an average of 72 points per game. Digging a bit deeper, throw out the blowout win over Oregon State and the triple overtime affair against Arizona State, and the Bruins are averaging just 68 points per game over a fairly good stretch. In that same stretch, the Bruins are giving up just 62 points per game. UCLA plays at a much more deliberate pace than Washington, as the Huskies rank out as the 57th ranked team in the country in adjusted tempo. UCLA is the more talented team and stronger interior team, so I'm confident they will control the pace of play in this game. In addition, the Bruins are very careful with the ball, which should alleviate the active Husky hands in the passing lanes. So under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington State versus Oregon State. After winning 5 in a row, Washington State has lost 6 of its last 7 games. With a loss in their last game, the Cougars fell 1 game under .500 on the season in Pac-12 play, and they are 15-13 overall. This is the Cougars' first game of the season facing Oregon State, and they host them at home in their next one. Oregon State has lost 14 in a row, and they are in last place in the Pac-12. They only have one conference win and are 3-24 overall. They have had issues on both sides of the floor on the season, and their defense has been lit up in their last 2 games. The Oregon State Beavers are 3-24 this season and have lost 14 games in a row. Oregon State lost to UCLA by a score of 94-55 in their last game. Oregon State allowed UCLA to shoot 58.6% from the field and gave up 13 made three-pointers in the loss. Morris Callow led the Beavers with 13 points and 3 rebounds in the game. Oregon State is averaging 67.2 points per game and is giving up 77.2 points per game against, while also averaging 30.8 rebounds per game and 12.1 assists per game. Jared Lucas is averaging 13.1 points per game and 2.3 rebounds per game, while Dashawn Davis is averaging 10.6 points per game and 5.3 assists per game for the Beavers. Oregon State is shooting 44.1% on field goals, 67.9% on free throws, and 31% on three-pointers. The Washington State Cougars are 15-13 this season and have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Washington State is coming off of a loss against Washington by a score of 78-70. Washington State only shot 34.3% from the field, but did make 9 three-pointers in the loss. Michael Flowers led the Cougars with 30 points and 5 rebounds in the game. Washington State is averaging 70.5 points per game and is giving up 63.8 points per game against, while also averaging 37.3 rebounds per game and 10.9 assists per game. Michael Flowers is averaging 13.9 points per game and 3.2 assists per game, while Tyrell Roberts is averaging 10.7 points per game and 2.5 rebounds per game for the Cougars. Washington State is shooting 40.2% on field goals, 74.7% on free throws, and 33.3% on three-pointers. Washington State is 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games. The under is 17-6 in Washington State's last 23 games, and the over is 7-2 in Washington State's last 9 Monday games. Oregon State is 11-5 against the spread in their last 16 Monday games and 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 home games. The over is 20-6 in Oregon State's last 26 home games. The home team is 6-2-1 against the spread in these 2 teams' last 9 head-to-head meetings. Oregon State put up a fight against USC but were smoked in their last game. The top 2 scorers for the Beavers struggled in the last game and will do so in this one. Washington State's top scorers also have struggled in the last 2 games, and while I do not see them shooting lights out, they will bounce back against an Oregon State defense that has been lit up in the last 2 games. Oregon State has been absolutely dreadful this season and has lost 3 of their last 5 games by at least 20 points. Washington State has really struggled in their last few games and is on the road here. Oregon State has been a mess defensively, and Washington State should be able to put up a lot of points. Oregon State will not get blown out in this one, but because of their defense and mediocre shooting, Washington State to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Oregon State has given up 94 points in each of their last 2 games, and they will play better defense in this one, but the Cougars will still get their points. The Beavers have an over record of 20-6 in their last 26 home games and look for that trend to continue. Washington State will not have a great shooting game but a decent one, and Oregon State will have a decent shooting game and get their points. While I don't see a barn burner in this Pac-12 affair, it will be far from a defensive low-scoring game. So over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.